Rob, Bristol this weekend, a chance to bounce back from last weekend, but also a big day for a lot of players, and most notably 3 boys retiring. I just want to talk quickly about those, in Ben Moon, Stuart, Hogg and Ian Whitten. Just sum up in a few words what those guys have done for this club.
Obviously, listen. Well, I mean, they're all different circumstances, aren't they? And I think that's the thing to remember. You know, there's never one cover-all for these guys. So obviously, Mooney's been here a long time.
Last of the originals.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we've asked the players to send in pictures over the years of things that are important moments to them, and Ben sent in a picture with his I think she was his girlfriend and now wife, and he's got her in his arms on the pitch at Bristol. I think he was there, travelling reserve or there, in this part of the watching squad, and that was the day we got in the Premiership. And interesting enough, he's relived that picture in a few big moments right the way through, from being in the Premiership and in finals and winning trophies. And that to me is that's the best part of being a coach, is that journey you could go on with players. I think it's incredible. And there's him coming through our academy, had to fight his way into our team. If you remember when we were first in the Premiership, Brett Sturgis I've never probably seen a guy who would fought to hold on to his shirt the way Sturge did. He used to come into my office, not if he was dropped. He used to come into my office if I took him off at any stage during the game. That's what he used to be like. And eventually had to fight with him. And then we've had other good props. And Mooney's worked there and fought and come all the way through to becoming an England international because of the level of performances. So for him, the pathway is incredible. I feel privileged that he's been here his whole career. I feel great to have been part of that. And I know Ben feels it's been a great journey for him. At the same time, it's a shame that he's been forced to retire with this neck issue that's prevented him playing this season, and that's a shame for him. Obviously, it's a shame he can't kind of go out on his shield, so to speak, and be playing. But he's one of those guys who everyone will remember here for a long, long time, and he's a guy I really hope we see him around the club an awful lot when he finishes, and obviously wishing the best in his career. Ian, again, he's been here a long time.
Pound for pound, one of your best.
Oh, he's been amazing. I still talk to some people, like when I picked him up from Exeter Airport, and when I picked him up and drove to the club for his medical, his meeting, and he's obviously opened up a bit over the years. But I sat there with him, and all right, you know what he's like. Yeah, good flight over. Yeah, kind of like expressionless. Yeah. And it kind of we did like a day like that, and then I dropped him back, and but you could tell his medical was great. Just watching him play, when he got on the field at Ulster was fantastic. Brought him in, and he was just like a hit from minute one. He was here, in and around the first team, wings, centre. But the one thing I think people don't realise about how motivated and driven he is as a professional rugby player. Probably in most ways the most professional rugby player I've dealt with over an extended period. His prep and his post-match, post-training recovery, his minutes on the training field, the quality of his training, been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Mr. Reliable, gives his all in every game. I can't speak highly enough of him. And again, a guy who I've had great experiences with. Has absolutely loved European rugby. Has loved the pre, post, during experiences. Met most of his family at various times, at away games and some home games, and they're brilliant rugby supporters. It's been a great journey for Ian, and I'm pleased he's had an incredible career here. Whether he's going to be completely retired, Ian, I'm not sure, because he has mentioned playing a bit of rugby with his brothers, which I think would be incredible. And again, I just wish him all the best when he heads back to Ireland, and hope everything goes well with his young family, which is obviously got a handful for him as well. And I hope everything goes great for them.
And Hoggy, the final one, he's not been here as long as the other two, but again, had quite an impact.
Yeah, Hoggy's kind of slightly different in that his kind of rugby, I suppose, growing up journey and length of time at another club at Glasgow was the kind of was through his growth period, so to speak. And he was one of the guys who, as that squad grew and learned, and with the guys like with Mooney and with Ian in there, that we started to look at, well, can we top this group off in this aim to win the top trophies, And that's why we targeted Stuart. We actually looked at him a little earlier than when he came, and timing wasn't quite right. And then we brought him in. And I think he just, I said, added that bit of stardust that we needed to see us over in those big trophies. And I think, that's a great credit to him, because he came into a good side and commanded a position through a period when we wanted to win things, and we did, and he's had that impact, which is different to the other guys, but there's an impact that's just as relevant for the club in what we wanted to achieve and where we wanted to be.
Equally, there's a number of others that some have been confirmed, some haven't, but together it's going to be quite an emotional day on Saturday. How do you quell that as a coach and just say get on with the job first, and then we celebrate after?
Listen, we spoke. I suppose first meeting up with the players this week. Just said, look, guys, the really important thing here is it's a really important day. I said it's an important day for me because I want it to be a great day for you guys. You guys are retiring. You guys are leaving. I want that to happen. But I said, let's not expect it to be good just because we want it to be good. Let's just make sure we direct that kind of emotional energy in the right directions, into the best framework for us to have the chance to win the game. Bristol won't be coming here with any, they're not coming here to have a party with us and say, well done to you Exeter lads. They want to come here and win a game of rugby. We've got to direct our energy in just the right way. If we do that, that tends to lead to good performances for us. And as you say, then the lads can have a good day on the pitch. They can have a good day in front of the supporters. And like I said, the most important thing, they can walk off the pitch and be proud of what they've achieved.
How hurt were the lads in the wake of last weekend, or is it not quite as bad as Bath, and you've managed to rally them a lot easier this week? Nobody likes losing, do they?
Yeah, no one likes losing. I don't know if it was so much hurt as frustration, and probably the frustration has been shown again in the first part of the week when as I said earlier on, when we look at the reasons why those pressure points around cards, etc. came, because so many of them were in our hands. And I suppose the annoying thing from a coaching perspective is a lot of the areas whereas we were so good the week before, for 2 weeks previously, we dealt with so many of those pressure points by being very switched on, very focused, and where we directed our energy. That's that bit of inconsistency that we as a coaching group have got to work very hard with the players to try and iron out. Because when we're good at it, we're very, very good. And so when we're bad at it, we look very, very bad at it. And that we've got to get that balance where there's a bit more of a middle line that we can push on from, rather than have such high swings up and down. And
obviously a semi-final on the horizon, but you want to go into that with a bit of momentum. Here at home, we've been fantastic this year. It's a case of just finishing the job here, isn't it?
It is, but I think we've also got to we've just got to get back to enjoying every game we play. Premiership rugby. I never want the players to get tired of enjoying Premiership rugby. It's a privilege. You're a privilege to be at a club that's in the Premiership. It's a privilege to be a coach or director of rugby at a club in the Premiership. There's not many of us. We should all look at this as a real privilege, and that's the bit I want us to get back to, just enjoying being on the field, enjoying being in front of a big crowd. We should have been loving being in front of Welfare Road, but actually, to be fair, I think we were. I think we had a bit of a rocky start. I mean, to be fair, the 2 tries they score, they come up, not saying out of nothing, but a little bit like has been our Achilles heel this season. Nothing's really happened in the game, and all of a sudden we're tries down. But then we get ourselves right back in it before the cards start happening. And so I think we were going okay. And I think we've just got to, like I say, we've got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We've got to just make sure we're enjoying the occasions as they come along. And we'll worry about next week. Do you know what I mean? I know that's hard to say. It'll be something that's in some players' minds, but that's what we really need to forget about. We need to. If you turn up at Welfare Road, you shouldn't be thinking about what the next games are. It should just be about Welfare Road and being massive. And we've got to reset the group on that kind of stuff going forward.
Team news wise, you're looking a lot better. Jack Noel, Dave Ewers, Yanis, all back in training. You've lost 2 of the centres last week, which is a blow, yeah. But overall the picture's not bad. It's
not too bad. Obviously Sol and Roy are relatively bad injuries, maybe season ending, which is obviously frustrating for them, disappointing for us. We do get Henry Slade back now after his enforced week off, and then obviously, as I said, we had some bumps and bruises from the Montpellier and Stormers games that we needed to get on top of. We think we're on top of most of those, and so obviously now it's a slightly changed up group going into this game, and I'm hoping now we can have a big 80 minutes this weekend. We have a slightly longer turnaround with an extra day into a Sunday, and we can get into enjoying next week and ourselves well prepared and well focused for what will obviously be, at this stage now has become the biggest game of the season.